Check it out. We're doing this panel because of a tweet that Fredericton's Mayor Brad Woodside did a few days ago, and he wrote on Twitter, "Bilingualism, I understand. Duality makes no sense. This should be on the table, Mr. Premier, as we look to save money. You asked." So that tweet and the resulting reaction to that tweet made me think that duality was a fitting subject for our political panel this week. Chris Austin, I'm going to start with you. When you saw what Brad Woodside had tweeted, what were your thoughts?
Well, I think he just echoed the sentiment of a vast number of New Brunswickers. I agree with what he says. That's what we've been saying for the last 2 years. The People's Alliance, we support bilingualism. We support the right for both Francophones and Anglophones to receive service in the language of their choice. But we believe what we have today is simple overkill in achieving that. And I think we need to bring the pendulum back to the center in terms of bilingualism and in terms of duality. Again, Mayor Woodside's right. It doesn't make sense. It divides the province. It's got a costly price tag to it. And, in relation to the email received from the Liberal Party, I find it quite interesting that they're so adamant to take, bilingualism and duality off the table when they're saying everything's on the table because it's a right. Is healthcare not a right? Do we not, as Canadian citizens and as New Brunswick residents, have a right to health care? Do we not have a right to education? But yet the government has no problem discussing closing clinics or schools to make the system more efficient and to save money. So if everything's on the table, bring everything on the table. Were you surprised at how quickly Mayor Woodside was shut down? No, to be honest, I wasn't. And it's really sad that we've gotten to a place in this province where there's sacred cows that can't be touched. Again, bilingualism and duality being, personally, not just as a politician, but as a taxpayer, I'm offended fact that we can't have a reasonable, common sense, and rational discussion on this topic. If I cannot find ways to make it efficient, to make it fair, and make sure it serves all New Brunswickers. Mr. Austin, what is your understanding of what the Constitution says about duality? It does, talk about distinct education facilities for both linguistic groups, which we understand. But what we don't understand is why we have different school bus. And I mean, think about this, just take a step back, a bigger picture here. I mean, every morning we have Francophone homes that get their children out of bed, put them at the end of the driveway to get on a French bus. And then right behind it, we have an Anglophone family that does the same thing in the morning to get on an English bus. I mean, it's gotten so bad now that our children can't even ride the same bus to school. It's costly and it's divisive.
Madeleine Dubé, do you recognize that there is a certain level of frustration in New Brunswick with the situation that Dominic Carty has just described? And if you do recognize it, what is the solution you would suggest to address that frustration?
That it's the practice. In order to speak and to practice and to have the vocabulary. Yes. So practice, it seems to be extremely important, and that's what helped me, certainly when I arrived in Fredericton. I was submerged by English around me, so I was forced as well to practice more, and I've learned more. So the element of being exposed to the second language as well, it is, I think, important.